Welcome to the Wrestling After Show. I'm Jonny Fairplay.
I'm Heath Haynes.
We're here.
We're here once again.
Week 2, we made it.
Episode 2.
Who's to say?
I'm feeling good. That music got me all pumped up.
Who did that?
I don't know, man.
I feel like it wasn't me. So that would be.
It was somebody in this room.
Okay, I am voting myself off the musical island. So way to go! A little homage to the Midnight Express.
A little bit, yeah. Well, you know, it's a proper show. Need to have a proper intro, proper theme song.
Wow, and graphics too.
The whole deal.
Who knew?
I didn't.
So
I had no idea.
We have a very special guest potentially. We'll see. She has to ring in.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. Should we do a build up now, or should we?
We can do it. We can do a small build up just in case. So Jenna Morasca has not done a public appearance since 2008, and she is joining myself, Jane Bright from Survivor Nicaragua, the Queen, 2-time winner Sandra Diaz-Twine. We're going to be at Galaxycon this Saturday in Raleigh, North Carolina. William Shatner's going to be there. Billy Zabka, the Who's Who, MJF is going to be there. The Hardy Boys and more. Go to Galaxycon.com, click on Raleigh, and then on the events options there is they're doing the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is so awesome. And they're doing a Survivor Legends deal. So, as I said, me, Jane, Sandra, and Jenna Morasca, we're doing Survivor challenges with the fans. It's going to be great. I mean, these are actual life-size, real challenges. I got bugs. I got all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. Throughout, we're going to be doing trivia, and I'm giving away autographed pics of some of your favorite previous survivors that aren't there with us. And then we do a Q&A, and then we do a big autograph thing. Tickets are available right now. As I said, go to Galaxycon.com. There'll be a link here in the bio or the video description for this podcast. But I'm stoked. Saturday night, July 27th, 6 p.m. till 7:30 p.m. It's a 90-minute deal. It is the most interactive Survivor experience ever in the history of Survivor. And Jenna Morasca, first appearance since 2008.
And in a nice bit of synergy, it just so happens that Jenna Morasca, like yourself, crossed streams from the reality world into the world of professional wrestling. And we're looking forward to talking to Jenna about that a little bit later on today.
Yeah, thanks to Kurt Angle. So I don't know who to blame for me being a professional wrestling. I guess Roddy Piper.
Well, I mean, I think it was just destiny,
Oh,
Johnny.
wow. I think Jeff Jarrett would disagree with that. So,
But in the meantime, there's plenty of stuff to talk about.
absolutely.
Here we are on the precipice of another PLE. SummerSlam's coming up, and a lot of hot storylines leading into SummerSlam. We're going to talk about a couple of those, and then make our way into some predictions,
Yeah.
I believe. So what do you? What's your hot program that you want to?
So Monday Night Raw, I loved Bron Breakker versus Dragunov. I mean, for me, growing up, watching Mid-Atlantic, in the Crockett promotion, and becoming World Championship Wrestling as we would learn to appreciate as a big powerhouse in the world of professional wrestling. I got to see, Rick Steiner, come in from Mid-South, had no clue that he had a brother. I was just watching, the Varsity Club. I remember being a little kid making Captain Mike Rotunda posters. I loved Mike Rotunda.
You loved Mike. Okay.
Yeah, Captain Mike. And then when he became Captain Mike with the sailor hat, I was like,
Not so much.
I'm off this train.
I don't remember. So was he captain in the Varsity Club?
Yes,
I thought the captain thing was later.
No, he was the captain of the Varsity Club.
Oh, okay.
He's team captain.
And then he became a literal, like,
And then
in a nautical sense.
Yes, and I think he
captain.
had Norman the Lunatic as his first mate.
Yeah, I checked out. I dipped out by that point. By like 80, by 89, I was pretty divested.
Yeah.
From things.
Yeah, it was bad, but I mean it was great because we had you had Captain Mike Rotunda from Syracuse University. and then you had Rick Steiner representing
Michigan.
University of Michigan, and then Dan Spivey, and I can't remember. I want to say Georgia, possibly.
Well, they brought in Steve Williams for Oklahoma.
Sorry. First Steve Williams, and then I can't remember who. Someone left. Maybe Captain Mike was the first to leave. Maybe that was the storyline. But the gimmick of all this, which was so incredible, was their coach,
Kevin Sullivan,
was the demonic Kevin. Because when I think
the Taskmaster,
when I think college athletics, the first thing I think of is the devil.
Never actually mentioned Satan or the devil, just forces of evil. But
well, no, he actually called when I was Roddy Piper's personal assistant. Yeah. We did XWF tapings, and Kurt Hennig had ribbed me the night before. We had gone out. It was myself, Greg the Hammer Valentine, and Mr. Perfect. We had gone to a bar in Ybor City, and so we're going to park, and Perfect's driving, Valentine's in the passenger seat, I'm in the back, and a larger woman walked in front of us as we're attempting to park, and Perfect goes, I could fuck that at home. And I go, well, that doesn't sound like Mrs. Perfect to me.
At home or from home?
I was like, that doesn't sound like Mrs. Perfect. Yeah. And Valentine popped.
Yeah.
And I think at that moment he decided to dose me.
Okay.
And so the next day I woke up at like 9 p.m. instead of 9 a.m. I get a phone call from Kevin Sullivan. And he goes, fair play. And I was like, yeah, he goes, it's the devil. So he does.
But never broadcast. See, yeah, because Kevin Sullivan, we didn't get Florida TV up here.
No. We got Continental. We got Mid-Atlantic.
There's and World Class.
Yeah.
We could see that some.
AWA.
And then when Crockett bought Central States. We could get Central States. And and UWF pre-buyout, you could get UWF if you UHF Saturday afternoons, maybe you could get it.
No thunderstorm that day.
Yeah. But Kevin Sullivan, the only knowledge of Kevin Sullivan that I had was from the magazines.
Yeah.
And just like the lurid photos of Kevin Sullivan and the fallen angel and his whole army of darkness, and the snakes and the makeup and everything. And then he shows up, and he's got the robe with the moon on the back covered in blood. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Where's the freaks at? And it's like, oh, it's Mike Rotunda.
Here's my collegiate athletes, and I am here to coach them. So.
Another weird thing about Kevin Sullivan showing up and Crockett is, and you have to integrate the knowledge that we have now with, just the experience of watching it back then. And if you go back and watch some of those, specifically the Saturday night show, when Kevin Sullivan comes in, he's not really like, there was a period before he was there, but the Varsity Club wasn't.
Yeah.
And it's Kevin Sullivan, and he would just come out every Saturday night, and he was like the Greek chorus, if you will, of what was going on. He would just come out and sort of pontificate on all these different things, all these different, affairs.
That's Dusty booking
and
there.
Yeah, and that was his role for a little bit. Was just like Dusty was just like, go out there and talk about all the other stuff.
So, well, it was great because he would ask all of his wrestlers to talk. The Road Warriors would be like, we're ravishing Rick Rude and Manny Fernandez. Well, and he goes, but don't forget Ric Flair. We're paying attention to you, and Tully Blanchard. We're paying attention to that national championship.
Yeah.
Like everyone put over everyone, and there were so many guys in the Crockett area that could talk, but there were a lot that couldn't. And so you would have, Brad Armstrong would come out there and just cut.
I was going to say Tim Horner, but
Tim Horner, and so you would have those guys. So Dusty would be like, Kevin, go talk about everybody.
Yeah. And that's what Kevin Sullivan did.
Yeah.
So anyway, going back to Rick Steiner.
Yeah. So we get Rick Steiner, and he's barking like a dog, and then we get Alexandra York, who is a fan.
Yes.
She comes in and he has a crush on
Robin Green.
Robin Green.
Yeah.
Yes, and it turns out that it was or not Alexandria. That was Terry Runnels.
Yeah.
So no, Robin Green, the fan, she came out there and it was trying to lure well, it was just innocent love, with Rick Steiner, and it turns out she was a temptress.
Woman.
Yeah. So she
formerly the fallen angel.
Yeah. So she comes in as a quote unquote fan. It was all subterfuge, and so then we get the Varsity Club, coming after Rick Steiner, and we finally work our way into, hey, Rick Steiner has a brother who apparently was in Mid-South the entire time, and there's just no reference.
Really?
Yeah. He was in Mid-South before WCW.
Okay.
So I think he had.
That's wild. I didn't know that. So, yeah.
So anyway, so Scott Steiner shows up, and
immediately out of the gate. I wasn't watching at that point, and somehow my wrestling spidey sense went off, and when Scott Steiner showed up, I miraculously started watching it again. I was like, holy shit, this guy. I was like, Rick Steiner's got a brother.
Oh, yeah. Who's better. Because,
different, but kind of better.
Very, very, I guess there is semantics to the term better, because maybe he wasn't. Who's to say? But I thought, I liked Rick Steiner, and there was push from the company to put the belt on Rick Steiner.
Right. Yeah, the big belt.
Yeah. And Flair was just like, this isn't the guy. And then I'm looking at Scott. I'm just like, okay, well, I didn't know the behind the scenes machinations at that time. And I'm just like, okay, well, if you had a problem with Rick Steiner, I'm like, what about a fresh? I mean, because they rolled the dice on a fresh faced Sting, and even Luger. So they've rolled the dice over time with younger guys that maybe weren't quite ready for that spot. I think Scott Steiner could have been at that time, because you got the Frankensteiner, which at that time was the hottest move in all of professional wrestling. It made no sense for a guy that big. And
and also around that time you had Muta show up, and he, for a dude his size, he that was the first time you saw a moonsault. So both of those guys doing those kinds of moves. Yeah, nobody had ever seen that before.
Rebooking WCW now, looking back, I mean, just think about a singles push of Scott Steiner versus the Great Muta, and because they were doing 6-month feuds.
Yeah, I mean, there's the land of missed opportunities. Late '80s WCW for sure, but all this ties back into a young man by the name of Bron Breakker, correct?
Yes. So I'm watching Monday Night, and I've been following along, his journey in NXT, and they started face and then heel and then the tag team, and then they kind of became baby faces because they were just so liked.
So over. Yeah.
So, and and everyone's just like, he's ready. And then he gets up to the main roster, and what incarnation of music are we on right now? 38? Different intro. If I'm WWE 2K and I have the responsibility of updating, I'm not.
I didn't start taking notice of it until about a month ago, and it's every week different entrance music, kind of a different entrance presentation. I think this time there was some smoke and an effects package at the beginning. So there it's a lot of tinkering. With Bron Breakker.
I think I like to imagine that Bron Breakker is the best parts of Rick and Scott Steiner.
Sure.
Is what I like to self-envision.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong. He might be the worst of both of them. I don't know. But I like to hold the belief that he's the best of both of them. I like that siren going when he comes out.
I like the siren. I mean, his you and I both noticed. First off, as far as production goes on Raw and SmackDown for that matter, the intro to the show, the cold open, having everybody get to the arena. You know, I love those shots.
I mean, it's the ESPN money shot.
Yeah, and everybody's there. They got the bag. They got the suits on.
Oh yeah.
Here comes Bron Breakker this week. No shirt, just gold cross, hair shades. That's it. What?
I mean,
what
is that? Do you think that's how he went through TSA?
He got out of his Uber, just like, yeah, let's go. Shirts off. And then, but you and I both noticed that his gear this week, his actually in-ring gear,
the worst,
was a little off.
Like high spots, come on, do better. I've seen what you make for Caleb Conley. You have the ability to make much better stuff.
It was for sure.
I don't think he got him.
It was the Temu Bron Breakker gear.
I think there was a seamstress. I think he lost his luggage. And did travel through TSA with no shirt.
It's funny you mentioned 2K because in 2K in the GM mode, before every week, there's a message center, and you'll get messages from the wrestlers on your roster, and one that you will always get once a season is, "Hey boss, I lost all my gear. What do you want me to do?" And then you have to choose like, either stay off the show, we'll get a quick fix, or we'll get pro gear. And there's like one's free, one's $5,000, one's $20,000. They definitely went for the $5,000 tier.
Well, I'd like to talk to Shannon Moore's. Was it Shannon Moore's wife that was making those at one time?
You got me.
Yeah, I think she was the one. I don't know. Someone can answer that. But yeah, whoever it is, it was like remember when HBK showed up? I guess the brown tights.
Yeah.
The Dutch boy haircut and the brown tights. He'd kill for that Dutch boy haircut right now.
Or the Rock and Roll Express in their flesh colored tights. You ever seen any footage of that? Dude, no. It's especially with Robert Gibson, leaves very little to the imagination.
Oh wow!
But anyway, so Bron Breakker on Raw. I think so. You talk about the tinkering. I think the tinkering is about done because the way they're presenting him now, it's compelling. He's exciting to watch on TV. All his that match this week with him and Ilya. I mean, you want to talk about two guys, and it's sort of the new style of working where it's just super stiff, but they're doing everything in safe places. It's high impact, but nobody's getting hurt. And that's like the believable, like, sort of form of work nowadays. And those guys are both killer practitioners of it. And I mean, any combination of those two guys, Sammy in the mix, Sammy not in the mix, I don't know, but great match just for a TV match. Unbelievable.
Well, I mean, the big thing for me is I'm sitting there watching, and I was just like, I'm looking at Bron Breakker the same exact point in his career in which I was seeing Scott Steiner early.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, And I think Scott Steiner, I mean, a hell of a resume. I mean, the Steiner brothers, one of the greatest tag teams in the history of professional wrestling. The reinvention of Scott Steiner from gimmick to gimmick, and like just becoming just a marvel on the microphone for maybe the wrong reasons. Who's to say?
And a math whiz.
Yes. Election time's coming. If you're wondering what anyone's chances are, ask Scott Steiner. He can tell you. So, but no, and he's grown to actually be a friend of mine, which is Judge Steve Harvey. He said that I was a bitch. So we have that. He did thank me for the payday when I saw him.
Indeed.
At was it WrestleCon? What's the thing in what's the Salem?
WrestleCade.
Yeah. So love Scott, but is this kid ahead of the curve?
Man, definitely living up to the potential, and I think they got him right where he needs to be in the card. Do you think they pull the trigger at SummerSlam and put that IC strap on him? It's too early for that?
I feel like there's lots of booking comparisons, not wrestling comparisons, but booking comparisons to Goldberg.
Yeah.
And if you're going booking comparison wise, what we did about a 1 year march with the US Championship first.
Yeah, I believe so. What was it? A year? I don't even know if it was a year.
We beat Raven.
Yeah,
and then
he had it for a while, but
because didn't he go like 100-0 or so whatever he went? I think it took like a year to get to. I don't know.
We don't have our books.
Yes,
in front of us.
I didn't bring my my wrestling almanac.
We need to start. Yeah, that needs to be in the background. I think he's where he needs to be. What we can get to whether or not they put the belt on him in our SummerSlam predictions a little bit later on, but right now he's knocking it out of the park on TV. I love his promos.
Oh yeah.
He's got he doesn't have the fire, but he's got intensity. He doesn't need fire. He's not a fiery. I mean, that's more of a babyface thing, you know.
Less is more.
Yeah, he's got the intensity, the heel intensity that he needs. His interactions backstage, either with interviewers or other wrestlers or management, are always great. I love his segments. I mean, yeah, I'm on board fully with how they're doing, handling old Bron Breakker right now. Should we check in? Will we know?
We'll see. We'll see at the bottom.
It'll pop up. Okay.
Actually, did I leave my phone? Let me see. Yeah. Do we have an update? No, we are still waiting.
All right. Well, I guess we'll move on to something that I'm enjoying from Monday Night Raw, and I have a feeling this is something a great many people are enjoying, and that is the ongoing hostility between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, which hit another gear this week. Every time, and this is so perfect. It's like in this build, hardly any physicality.
No,
you know?
No, and I think it helps it.
Oh, for sure, sure.
Like, I mean, I don't think Punk wishes he got an injury at Royal Rumble, but this is possibly best case scenario for everyone involved.
It really is, because he, you know, I think that was kind of he was fighting a lot of uphill battles in his AEW run, but one area where he didn't do himself any favors was, and I get it, he'd been away for a long time, and he wanted to be on TV. He wanted to wrestle on TV, and he was wrestling week after week on AEW.
Yeah.
And
I was at the match in Raleigh where Wardlow just beat the shit out of him.
Ooh, that was
20 minutes.
The newness wore off really quick. I feel
because
like,
you keep
it
special.
Yeah. And I think that's much more the role he's playing in this WWE run. And it's turned out that he is the special attraction. He's the Andre, you know.
Oh, and he hates those.
And
as The Rock.
He's the special attraction. Whether or not the injury has played a part in that, I mean, that's the presentation is where it needs to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, things got kicked up a notch this week, and we saw the addition. Now it's official. Seth Rollins, special guest referee for that match at SummerSlam, and you did indeed, wrestling Nostradamus that you are, did call it about a month ago. Yeah. And I was like, that's horse shit.
Yeah, you're not wasting Seth Rollins as a special guest referee.
And I still don't necessarily want to see it, but it does make sense. And once again, just the way last week, when you had, all right, Drew McIntyre, come on out here, apologize. He apologized. Now apologize to these referees.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do it. Yeah. I can't do it. At the time, I was like, that's kind of, what is that? Yeah. And then a buddy of mine, Greg, he was like, oh, that's going to be the justification for getting Seth into it, because these referees, they don't want to have anything to do with this maniac, Drew McIntyre. So the only guy that's going to be able to keep order is going to be Seth freaking Rollins.
Wearing his Shein outfit.
He pretty much, they pitched it to him and he was like, oh, great. Yeah, no, I'll totally do it just so I get to wear, he's going to come out in some sort of referee's frock or something, or a waistcoat.
So will this outdo Shawn Michaels' booty shorts, booty shorts, and the tied up shirt?
Well, he's not going to show that much skin.
Okay.
It's I mean,
Who's to say?
The thing with Rollins is, it's all he likes to straddle that line of like, is he wearing that outfit or is that outfit wearing him? And
Becky is always jealous.
And it's like, because she was like, oh, I was going to wear that.
Yes. That was from my side of the closet.
Yeah. So
that was my Survivor Series return outfit.
So we'll get to see that.
Yeah.
And I tell you what. So you've talked about what are your favorite presentations and angles. I've talked about mine. Why don't we just go ahead and get into some SummerSlam predictions, and let's just start off with that match. Non-title. There's no title involved, and right now I think it's the only match on the card where no title is involved. We've got CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Special guest referee Seth Rollins. Predictions.
Yeah,
I'll start.
Oh, okay.
I think McIntyre goes over, and I don't think it hurts Punk in the least. And I think you can move right into a Punk Rollins program.
Yeah,
from
that's
there.
exactly where I think Rollins is there. Rollins has a bigger problem with Punk than he does McIntyre.
Sure.
So I think his problem with McIntyre, he kind of feels like they're even. He screwed him. They kind of both screwed each other. He's okay. So whereas Punk, Punk screwed him, and he hasn't got to screw Punk back.
Yeah.
So I think they even those odds. So and I'm sure Rollins can show up on Monday night after SummerSlam and be like, hey man, we're even. And Punk's not the kind of guy to be like, yeah, that's fine.
I'm just sitting here thinking about how wild is it that we were supposed to get that match at WrestleMania. It was supposed to be Punk and Rollins at Mania if Punk didn't get hurt. That was what they were building towards from the get-go. With as soon as whether or not he knew. I guess they did know that Punk was going to show up. They told him right before they went out for War Games.
Yeah. So the seeds were planted there,
and everything that Rollins did after War Games, after Punk came out, throwing that fit, that was all,
Yeah.
And that's where they were going.
But that walking clown emoji just happened to step into some rock sauce.
The whole McIntyre thing has been, again, happy accident, but
one after another. It doesn't end.
It could not have worked out any better, though. I mean, because it brought him up.
Who's the most compelling character in all WWE?
18 levels. I mean, who used to give a shit about Drew? Drew McIntyre, he's got a sword. He's just
the sword. And the sword's gone.
Yeah. Just this
The Rock signs him to a new deal, gives him a sword. And I'm just like, great.
Okay,
can we put that one on the shelf?
That can go in the closet.
Great. Well, you can put it above the,
not compelling
the fireplace or something.
Not compelling TV at all. Anytime Drew McIntyre is involved. And then, somehow this CM Punk being there has brought out this, and it makes me wonder, because they've never really gotten to the heart of what supposedly happened back in the day that left Drew McIntyre so scarred and full of hatred for CM Punk. And it almost makes me wonder, did something actually happen? Because I mean, he really did get to another gear that we had never seen any indication of him having on the microphone, and his whole deal. And that doesn't happen without CM Punk showing up.
No.
And the injury. So my question to you, is this just the one match? Like Drew Punk and then one match and they're done?
Drew Punk, one match done. Drew wins because Rollins screws him.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get then we get Punk Rollins September.
Bash of Berlin?
Sure.
That's the next thing.
Yeah. And Drew interjects himself. And do we have a 3-way at Bad Blood at Hell in the Cell? Or do we have just one-on-one Punk and Drew? I'm okay with I'm pretty anti 3. Well, not in all instances, but for the sake of professional wrestling discussion, I am anti 3-ways for the most part, and there have been some exceptions over time for ECW pay per view, but that was a triple threat, not a 3-way. So, or no, that was a 3-way, not a triple threat. Anyway, whatever. I'm okay with Bad Blood Atlanta, us possibly making that drive, brother.
We might do. I'm way more into that than I am into going to see Dynamite in a couple weeks.
We're going to Dynamite. Get ready.
Jury's still out. So you see it being one match. I see. If you would have asked me a couple weeks ago, I was more of the opinion of this is the first of at least a couple Drew Punk matches.
But the Seth thing.
But the addition of Seth, and because he needs something to do. And we kind of touched on it last week. I think it's brilliant how bringing Seth in for the past few weeks has given both Drew and Punk somebody to interact with instead of each other.
Yeah.
Because again, the more you keep those guys apart, the better.
With no physicality I mean, like when did this start? Like November? And we're in July. We're almost in August.
Well, in earnest after Rumble.
Yeah, but you saw Seth throw the fit at ringside when Punk shows up. Drew throws the fit
and leaves
in a social media thing to start this whole deal. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
happy accidents again.
This is like old WCW and current W. I mean, look at the Bloodline. I mean, who would have said the Bloodline could go 2 years?
And now it's been what, 4?
Yeah. I mean, I think I remember when the Bloodline beat up the Four Horsemen. that was my favorite angle.
That would be
when the Bloodline broke Dusty's arm or whatever.
Oh yeah, the parking lot.
The parking lot. Remember that? That was crazy.
Moving along, and the other program we're kind of touched on, Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker for the Intercontinental Championship. I like the way they just kind of went ahead and wrote Ilya out of the whole thing, because I would say that this time last week we were thinking that was probably going to be a triple threat at the pay-per-view, and then they just now it's not.
And
you're good with that.
On paper, it looked there was potentially 3-ways going into SummerSlam, and I don't think we need 1, much less 2, or especially 3. And so to subtract 1 with Rollins being the referee, that's great. Subtract another with Dragunov being demolished. So, but still, I mean, like the ass whooping that he took, and the punishment that he gave out, he's protected after. Like when this feud is that's the first title defense.
Yeah.
So on this one, I'm going. You'll refresh me on the rest of the card as we go through it, but I'm thinking. I'm thinking new Intercontinental Champion. I think this is new era Goldberg, just like when he beat Raven, even though I didn't want it to happen. I think that Breakker beat Sammy, even though I don't want it, but it's okay. I could live with it. I didn't like it, but I could live with it because there's a bigger story being told, and I think there is a bigger story being told with Bron Breakker.
I think they can get they're going to get a hell of a match out of it. It's going to be Sammy, selling the whole time.
Great.
And then maybe Bron Breakker will finally be the guy that figures out, hey, when you're wrestling Sami Zayn, whatever you do, just don't stand up in the corner.
Yeah, if you don't stand up in the corner.
If you don't stand up in the corner, you're good. He might be the guy to figure that out. Also on Raw this week, we saw Jay Uso and Sammy team up.
Yeah.
So you and I, you want to talk about I'm thinking
Survivor's War Games.
They're going to be a part of whatever the Roman Reigns, the OG bloodline.
Yeah.
They're going to be a part of that story. So getting that Intercontinental title off of him frees him up.
And maybe even an injury angle, like, put Sammy on the shelf for a little bit so that when he comes back, let's not think about Bron Breakker. Like it's been like, we're just happy Sammy's back. And then he gets pulled into, or maybe he's just off TV and he gets pulled into this bloodline thing. He was just like, look, man, I'm hurt from this other deal. And they're just like, don't worry. We need you right here.
Yeah. Sammy could use a breather. Yeah. I'd say he's been on TV a lot.
Yeah, and doing that tour.
Yeah.
Did you see? I don't know if you follow Steve-O on social media. So Steve-O and I, we've been friends for 20 years now. And he posted today. Him and Johnny Knoxville were talking. They were at a restaurant, and it was all the Jackass guys, and Brock Lesnar walked in.
All right.
And Wee Man gets on top of the table and gives a F you, Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar looks and just picks him up and slams him through the table at a restaurant.
That's wow.
They're like, this is wonderful.
Brock Lesnar living the gimmick. Was this a story that happened at some point, or is this fairly recent?
No, they had video of it and everything.
Okay. Oh wow.
They were talking about it, and then they're like, here's the video. And they're just like, yeah, he just crushed him.
I gotta see that.
It's wonderful.
So you're thinking we're both picking Braun.
Yeah, I think it's the. Here's the crazy thing. Were you a Goldberg guy or no?
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, Goldberg. As we were talking last week, I checked out for years and years.
Sure.
And got back in around 97, and I vividly remember was living in Richmond, Virginia at the time, and I was back here in Danville visiting mom and dad for the weekend. And hey, it's been years. It's Saturday night. Put on some TBS wrestling, and
605,
brother. And here's this Goldberg guy, and I was like, this is awesome. I mean, and they had the entrance and everything, and that was kind of key for me to start peeking my head back into the world of wrestling. And it wasn't Stone Cold, it was Goldberg, because like I said, I was an NWA kid, so naturally, I wasn't interested in anything that was happening with WWF at the time. It was what's going on with my good old WCW, and it was Goldberg, and I was like, I love this. This is awesome. So
I hated him.
You hated it?
I hated him.
I loved
so much. I thought it was a low budget power plant version of Stone Cold Steve Austin that did not get what, they were just like bald head, goatee, black trunks, black boots, but ours is bigger. And I'm just like, oh, you simple fucks. And then the Goldberg. You're literally chaining the way that you make fun of someone.
Well, yeah.
Like that, if anyone of you would chant Goldberg, Goldberg. If I'm making fun of you, I go Goldberg, Goldberg. Listen, Daryl Sharp, Daryl.
Well, but it's kind of like it's really less for Goldberg, and it's more for the opponent that is going to meet their imminent demise at the hands, and it's I can see that.
It just magnified the intelligence of a WWE fan or WWF fan at the time versus a WCW fan.
I saw Goldberg first, so I was like, okay.
You saw Stunning Steve Austin back in the day.
I saw Stunning Steve Austin back in the day. Yeah, for sure.
So, but anyway, so I hated Goldberg.
Yeah,
but I went to Triple H's bachelor party.
Okay.
And I meet Goldberg there, and he's a sweetheart. He's like the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, oh, and he was like, I bet you don't like me. And I was like, I hate you. And he's like, it's fine. And my friend that was with me, they were friends from Atlanta, and they're just like, this is great. So so we hang out, and then fast forward, an hour later, Batista comes up, and he was like, hey, I'm Dave, and I was like, oh. And he was like, I bet you don't like me. I was like, you're the worst. Me and my friends, we call you Boo-tista. And he's like, oh, that's hilarious. Hey, X-Pac, get over here. He calls me Boo-tista. Is that great or what? And I'm just like, oh my God, are you my new best friend?
Yeah.
So that Triple H's bachelor party changed so much for me.
So with you, it's the inverse of, like, they always say never meet your heroes. For you, it's definitely meet people you think suck.
So Sting sucked. Oh my God, that dude was the worst.
And he was probably one of your heroes coming up.
No, I hate it.
No.
Well, there was a stretch. There was a small stretch. I got a Sting shirt.
Yeah,
but I would say I disliked him for most of. I liked him when he first showed, like that class. Like, I'm a Flair guy. I'm a Horseman guy.
Surfer Sting. Yeah,
but that first Clash of Champions, that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, were you there?
I was supposed to be there. I was actually at Neil's warehouse.
We they had
a skateboard thing, and we watched. We got WrestleMania on closed circuit TV and or I don't know, pay-per-view, whatever it was called back then.
Yeah.
And then Clash of Champions, and we were skateboarding and watching, but we all stopped for Sting versus Flair.
That was that I was at every big Greensboro show before and after Clash of Champions, but it was like my mom and dad's anniversary. They took a trip, and so I didn't.
How selfish.
I know, right? And so I didn't.
They could have gotten married any day. There's 365 days in a year.
Didn't go on the trip. Didn't go on the. Didn't go to Clash of Champions. But anyway, we wrapped all around a lot of subjects there. Let's keep going though.
Yes. Next up,
Logan Paul and LA Knight.
Oh,
we're gonna have some friction here for the United States Championship. LA Knight all day, all day and all night.
Yeah.
He's my guy. I know you hate him, man.
I fucking love him. I feel like, this might be the meanest thing I've ever said. I literally see low budget Buff Bagwell when I see LA Knight.
That's rough. That's brutal.
It's like those are fighting words.
Anybody deserves that.
The pleather vest, the stupid circle sunglasses. Like, what are you, Dwayne Wayne or whatever from Different World? I mean, like, what the fuck?
There's no top hat. Yeah, okay, yeah.
If there was, they'd shit it in the back.
I'm not the biggest fan of maybe the gear, but like the promo. And I like the in-ring. It's sort of, it's bare bones.
Yeah, guaranteed to blow 2 spots a match, no problem.
I think he works safe and in a more convincing way than the Miz does.
Whoa, my God.
I dig the Miz too. I just know, but like has
the Miz and LA Knight feuded and I forgot about it?
Ooh, I don't think so, because I think they've kind of just been on different shows the whole time.
I am for that feud.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm for a trade. I like a trade every now and then.
Yeah.
So a brand like well, you know what? It might work out time. I need the Miz to turn on Truth.
Yeah. Which I feel like that's kind of. I think they're just gonna that's understood. That that happened backstage, like off camera somewhere. But yeah, I think with LA Knight, I think they need to put a belt on him. And it's not gonna hurt. It's been great for Logan Paul to have that title, but it's not gonna hurt him to not have it.
No. I feel like he's gone everywhere with it. I mean, because the big thing, like when everyone's just like, "Oh my God, don't put the belt on him," I'm just like, you're an idiot if you don't put the. I mean, like this guy is going to the Grammys and all these award shows, and he has this, this huge pod. Like if you're gonna put the belt on anyone in any belt, he's the guy.
I saw an interesting statistic earlier today. Apparently, Logan Paul is currently embroiled in more lawsuits than he has actually had title defenses in his run with the U.S. title.
Once again, making him special.
This is like his third or fourth defense, and I think he's like in like four lawsuits right now.
Are they bad lawsuits?
Well, the Olympics. When the Olympics sues you, I don't know. You know, I think he put the logo on some Prime bottles, and wasn't supposed to do that.
I love it.
And then,
for the record, Prime is bigger than the Olympics.
Is that right?
I think so. I don't drink it. I don't drink any. Do you drink energy drinks?
It's not an energy drink. It's a hydration drink.
Well,
isn't that kind of the fucking point?
I am looking forward to Logan Paul. I'm talking to you. I would love a Prime hydration station here behind us.
That is what we're missing. I think so. I think so.
I don't think I would drink it, but I would. I would
give it
to friends.
Empty bottle. They don't even have to have anything in them. Yeah, just, as long as
the Rock loves knocking that thing over whenever.
I think everybody. That's a new thing. It's the new Spanish announce table.
It's the new shitting in Buff's hat. it's knocking over the hydration station.
So Logan Paul, so much has been said, and it's well deserved. The way he has taken to the sport.
Imagine if his brother did. His brother's a monster.
I've never seen his brother do anything. I mean, I know he's a boxer and he's going to wrestle fight Tyson or whatever.
Yeah, I went to my betting app. I couldn't find that because I'm like, this is easy money, and I couldn't bet on it.
You can't even bet on him.
So, I'm sure they had it at Caesars, but I can't get this. My fiance's at Caesars.
I think it's going to be a great match, and I think LA Knight takes the win. Who's your pick now? Whether or not if it's,
Well, here's my thing. This is SummerSlam, which is dependent upon who you talk to. We know it's one of the big four. It's one of the big four. Is Survivor Series even
anymore? Right?
Yeah. So it's one of the big three.
Okay,
is where we're at. I mean, I would almost move. I mean, I feel like this year kind of moved it down a little bit. I would almost have Money in the Bank as number 4. As far as enjoyability.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with Triple H regime, because I would love Survivor Series War Games to be like, the thing. Like if that.
Well, they're trying to bring it back to, because I think for, the whole brand supremacy. That.
And it was only the one time a year that you would see people from different brands.
That only happens one time a year. It's so special.
Other than every week going into.
Yeah. So getting away from that, making it the annual War Games thing.
Yeah. So maybe it's back to number 4. Okay. But
your point.
Okay. So my favorite pay-per-view every year is more times than not Royal Rumble. Yeah. But still, that's not the big pay-per-view, but that's my most enjoyable.
Sure.
So you're looking at WrestleMania and SummerSlam are the two biggest. And if you go through history, a lot of times SummerSlam was better than WrestleMania for the actual matches, and because they build up a bunch of stuff at WrestleMania, and sometimes like you wouldn't even get your payoff until SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're saying new Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably new world champion.
Yeah.
We were not there yet, but probably.
Yeah.
Are we saying also probably new U.S. champion? I mean, that's a lot.
That's a lot of title changes for one show, and so
who gets screwed?
I think Bron Breakker. I think they put the U.S. title on LA. If they're not going to have 3 title changes, I think if they're only going to have 2, I think it's going to be new champion LA Knight, new champion Gunther.
Everyone has been waiting so long for LA Knight to get this.
Yeah.
So
there was talk that speaking of WrestleMania that this was going to be a WrestleMania match. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they've kind of Lucy the football him enough.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back on Bron Breakker. I say Bron doesn't win the championship, but takes out Sammy. Just beats the crap out of him, and Sammy's out for a little bit.
They just stop the match, no contest, no winner, no loser. Just this, the brutality must cease,
and maybe even Intercontinental Champion or a tournament.
I dig it. I dig it.
Okay, so no new champion there.
Okay.
And then LA Knight
finally
gets his brass ring.
Moving along, because we got to get along.
Yep.
Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. It's all about the story.
Yeah, we the story's just begun with the return.
Yeah.
And so does Dom turn? Maybe. Or I mean they're so good at just dragging this like
that turn this week. I was not expecting. This whole time, all Dominic had to do was just really lay it out for Liv and say, like, hey, do what he did this week. I hate you.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. But he didn't until Rhea came back. So it was kind of performative a little bit, which is total Dom style. I thought Liv did a great job with her reaction.
The best she's done yet.
Yeah.
I think she's a beautiful girl. She got some Enzo stink on her. I don't like that. But I feel she tries a lot harder than she delivers more times than not.
Okay.
I felt this week was one of her better weeks.
Yeah, I thought she was good too.
Yeah.
As far as a winner, I don't know, man. Keep it on Liv for a little while longer.
Yeah. As I said, we got too many other title changes. Yeah. This isn't going to be one of them. And I mean, it's all about the story. This story has literally just began. Or just because of the return.
Well, speaking of title changes, and this is gonna this might. I'm kind of shocked myself with my change of heart on Nia Jax. I'm feeling Nia Jax lately, and I think it's going to be her time. I think she's going to beat Bayley. And maybe some of that, maybe the positive feelings that I'm having for Nia Jax are just to offset the negative feelings that I'm having for Bayley and her championship run. It's just been so underwhelming. Is some of that the presentation? Maybe, maybe not. But what are you presenting? Who is she? I don't get it. Ever since WrestleMania, I've not understood what her deal is.
She got new music.
She got a bunch of new music.
They Bron Breakker to music.
She got new music again.
She's no longer a role model, I guess. Hey, why are you calling out botches?
Why couldn't she just be the hugger? I mean, could she be the hugger again? That was like she was super over as the hugger.
I don't know if I want the hugger again.
But juxtapose that with like the real strides that Nia Jax has been doing. Like her in-ring is way better than in years past. I never cringe when I'm watching her. And maybe that's a low bar. Maybe she said, I never cringe at her matches and think about like, oh my God. Well, there was when she crumpled Lyra Valkyria at Queen of the Ring. That was a little brutal. Yeah. But since then, everything's looking good. She's not hurting.
Maybe Lyra said, lay it in, brother.
She's not hurting people.
Yeah. I told Nigel McGuinness that I took the jawbreaker lariat before we went out there. I come there I was like, dude, I had VH1 cameras follow me. It's for Ring of Honor. And I come there, I'm just like, dude, lay it in, bro. He goes, are you sure? I'm just like, yeah, bro. He goes, I'm like, when are you going to be on VH1 again?
Yeah.
Here's your chance. Anyway, so he laid it in. So I regained consciousness right about the entrance tunnel.
Yeah. And that was post jaw reconstruction, correct?
I don't remember. I got to go back in time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
Who is to say?
Yeah.
But I'm
maybe too many concussions.
Yeah. I'm see. So now we're back. Me personally, I'm back to 3 title changes. And I think Nia Jax is going to take it, and especially with her.
Bayley's cold right now. And Bayley's cold, and with Tiffy Time,
I love that.
I think Tiffy Time hanging or just being a gnat around Nia Jax is more fun than Tiffy Time with Bayley that I don't care about at this point.
Yeah.
So, for the record, Bayley, I'm a Bayley fan. I just feel like that character has just
something's
been
off, man.
Lost for a year.
Yeah. Something's off.
Yeah. I like the Karen Bayley. I like the hugger, and I like the Karen.
I thought she was a great heel, and then when she was like the leader, and I know it was the big long story they had to tell about her, losing control, damage control, and
I wanted to control alt delete.
Yeah, it was that whole thing was rough. But when Damage Control, when she was like the boss, and kind of that doing that Karen thing, and with the terrible like side mohawk haircut,
the hair.
Can I see the manager, please?
Yeah,
hair.
Well, the hair is just as bad now, but not functional for a character.
For the gimmick.
Yeah.
So I think give Bailey a break. And
have you ever dated a girl with half her head shaved?
Yes, I have.
Wow,
it's not great.
I bet
not great.
They'll key your car
right about the time. Well, no, we had been dating forever, and then she was like, "I'm gonna do this," and she had black hair at the time.
Yeah.
She got extensions. She shaved one half of it, and then it was like the next week, Skrillex was a thing, and so she had just given herself the Skrillex haircut. And without even realizing it, and it's like, this sucks.
This is done.
That was
There goes sex.
Off the table. Moving right along to our one of our two World Heavyweight Championship matches. Damian Priest and Gunther. I think it's Gunther.
Oh yeah, I think it's Gunther.
Yeah.
So, and Priest had his best showing in a while. Monday night.
Yeah,
he showed some fire. New T-shirt. Rhea around helps him.
Yes,
Rhea makes him seem like because it's not like they're screwing. Like he's like the cool big brother.
Well, he does his skills do not. They're not doing him any favors if he has to bear the brunt of the storytelling.
Yeah.
Of Judgment Day. He's much better as he's within Judgment Day when he's the driving force of everything that's going on with Judgment Day, which is where he's been since Rhea's been gone. It hasn't worked for me.
No.
And but he's for me, he's got like 9 lives because it's like before he cashed in at Mania. It's like, man, he's been carrying around this Money in the Bank a long time. I don't think he's ready for it. And then he cashed in such a fashion where it was like, it got him up to that level. For me, it's like, okay, World Heavyweight Champion. And then his championship run has been this like, okay, well, like, are you a heel? He's doing a tweener thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think like verbally and, and in his presentation, he doesn't have the skills to like pull off that tweener thing.
I think he owns bisexual Undertaker.
That is that's one of your favorite hashtags. Indeed.
Hot take.
So
I don't think it's hot.
So
take.
It's like then
it was literally trending.
So I'm back to Damian Priest. And then he'll have that. He had that match. Okay, with the rope botch. Was that King of the Ring?
One of or the Castle. There's two
Clash
different
of the Castle.
Yeah.
Clash of the Castle. But he pulled it out and he sold it so well that entire time where he came out of that match and people were like, is he really hurt? And it's like, no, he was just selling, man. And I was like, okay, Damian Priest, back up in my book. And then you had the not kicking out at the last PLE. And that, for me, I was like, okay, dude, I'm done.
I'm blaming the music, but
there's a lot of blame to go around, apparently. So
back down.
Damian Priest back down.
This week?
Jump to this Monday. Screw it. No talking, just like fighting into a commercial break, out of the commercial break, still fighting, back up for me. I love it, but Gunther is the unstoppable force, and I don't see him not winning that match.
Yeah, no, I think Gunther wins.
Yeah,
that's it. So
there it is.
And we got one
more match with a lot of intrigue and storyline behind it, and that, of course, is he's not Universal anymore. It's just the undisputed WWE champion.
But he's not undisputed.
But he's not undisputed.
Because there's another belt.
There's another, So WWE championship on the line.
Yeah. Just call it the WWE championship.
That's what that's kind of what I want to call it.
Yeah.
The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, defending against the new tribal chief, the new head of the table, Solo Sikoa,
who only has one win since his win over John Cena at in Dubai.
Yeah,
at
a year and a half
at
ago.
Blood Money 12.
That's an apt description.
Yes.
So what happened?
But that win is over Cody Rhodes.
So what happens here?
I think,
not a title change.
No title change. No, I think I think we're getting the return of Roman Reigns.
Now, I was kind of thinking this too. Does he just walk? Does he do anything? Does he do anything?
I think he just walk. I don't think he makes it any further than the top of the ramp.
He just walks out.
Yep.
Music hits, and I could see that happening.
But if you're flying in there and he's showing up, I mean, can't you do something?
Well, here's my take on the return of Roman Reigns and how I would like to see it done. I don't even want to say like how I would do it, but if they did it this way, I'd be into it. Bring back Paul Heyman first. Still selling the injury, still selling
the Joel Gertner neck brace.
Yeah, maybe the neck brace, maybe a cane. I don't know, but still selling the injury.
Mr. Fuji cane, Joel Gertner neck brace.
And he comes out and he's like,
full body cast.
All right, guys, I've been gone for a little bit, but let me just tell you something. I've been talking to somebody, and I think you know who I've been talking to, and they're not happy.
Yeah.
And they're going to be here real soon. And then you have that anticipation of Roman coming back.
Well,
I mean, the anticipation is already there anyway. Yeah. I get it, but
we already had SmackDown's pre-taped. I didn't watch it.
Me neither.
Of course we haven't watched it. But neither one of us have seen spoilers. Yeah. So, but I think if Paul Heyman did come out, that would have just hit.
Yeah,
stupid social media that likes to ruin stuff.
So but and also don't if the plan is to have Roman come out, because what I'm describing would be like a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So
so if you're gonna have Roman come out at SummerSlam, just have him come out. And not do what I'm talking about.
What is it? A week for so I guess he has next Friday to come out.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like if Heyman was to come out next Friday, then it would just kind of spoil the surprise for Saturday. So I don't know what I mean. Obviously, outside interference is going to be a factor in this match.
Would you? So are we in agreement that Roman comes out?
I could see it happening, but I could also see pushing it back down the road a little bit, because
I don't think they're kicking the can. Because they got the dates. They got to use the dates,
I don't think I would like to see a little bit more of the new bloodline, for lack of a better name, establish themselves a little bit more and like kick a little more ass on screen. Which they
can beat Cody and Roman's ass.
I don't think Roman needs to get physical at all, and definitely doesn't need to take any licks.
All right, so you're leaning more towards yes, Roman shows up. If you had to bet $1,
I don't see how you get out of this match with everybody where they need to be moving forward. You know what I mean? Like Solo needs to stay strong without beating Cody for the title.
Okay.
Cody needs to hold on to the title while weathering the storm of outside interference, which you definitely know is going to be a part of it. And then there's the Randy Orton of it all.
Yeah.
Where does he factor in?
Screw Cody.
So if anything, and I like this actually, this is my favorite thing about big storylines and going into pay-per-views, PLEs, is the unknown, like what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's fun to, like we've been doing and making predictions and conjecture and everything and fantasy booking to an extent. But with this Cody Solo,
reckless speculation.
This Cody Solo match is the literal cloud of the unknown for me. And I kind of like that there is at least one match on this card where it's like, I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what they're going to do. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. As far as now, this is one thing we can speculate on. Match order. What goes on last?
Cody, I
Cody
think
solo, especially if
Roman Reigns comes out.
Yeah.
So, and as far as him getting physical or not, I mean, I think the easy thing to do is for him not to. I have him get physical. If he's there, do something.
Yeah, I think
not a lot, but do something.
Yeah, I kind of go back to what your first point was. Is just like just come out and just be there on the ramp, get the pop, roll the credits. One thing I do hope we see is another post show in the style of what they did for Money in the Bank.
Well, I don't have another 3 hours, but other than the timing of everything, I loved it. So.
Yeah.
And John Cena will answer any question except the ones he doesn't want to answer.
Except the ones he doesn't want to answer.
Yeah.
7 matches as where it stands right now.
I'll take it.
I mean, they haven't been going over 5.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, this is one of the big 4. So if they were gonna go supersize,
this is the one.
This would be a 1.
So,
and
we're working our way towards a 2-night.
Yeah. So. I think we get 7 matches on the main card, and I see a
women's tag.
I see a SmackDown tag team title defense on the pre-show, possibly, because they're gonna have or that might actually be SmackDown on the go home show.
Yeah, because they're having a gauntlet match to determine the number 1 contender.
It's already been taped.
Okay.
I'm spoiler free on it, so I don't.
Spoiler free.
I don't know.
I'm guessing the
Tongans,
the Tongan 2.
I could see that. I would like to see. I thought the OG bloodline to me was most impressive when they were draped in the gold.
Yeah, just when the Horsemen were the best.
Exactly.
Just like when the NWO was
all
the best.
The hardware.
Yeah.
And so I would like to see the bloodline start accumulating some titles, not the Cody title, but getting the tag team titles on the Tongans. I would not mind seeing that.
Yeah, and then LA Knight's a good guy to beat for Intercontinental or a US title.
For the get it on a strong baby face, and then Jacob Fatu. Although man, he almost doesn't even need a belt,
I feel like Solo Sikoa needs that belt more than Jacob Fatu.
Indeed.
Is Jacob Fatu going to become the leader of the?
I think he's definitely what the new Bloodline storyline needed. I feel like I keep saying presentation. But they were missing something, and he was the thing they were missing. And
he's so good. And showed up for the job like he was like.
Oh yeah.
I mean, would he drop 40 pounds?
Oh if not more. And I could see him. However, this Bloodline Civil War plays out, I could see him playing an integral part and maybe flipping. That'd be interesting. But
or maybe he's the one that takes out Solo. He's just like, this is
maybe he was the mole all along.
Well, no. Like they have the Civil War.
Yeah.
The good guys win, and Jacob Fatu is like no, and then he beats up Solo, and it's his own, like just him and the Tongans.
Could be.
So.
A myriad,
and then a trios championship because we
all need more belts. A myriad of creative possibilities in the WWE right now, ladies and gentlemen. And we just did an exhaustive SummerSlam preview.
Yeah, and maybe next week we'll have Jenna Morasca. So I did get an update. They're working. So she's working on her car.
Yeah.
So Jenna Morasca is not big on maintenance, auto maintenance, and so she's handling all that today to make sure that she will be in Raleigh this Saturday. Go to Galaxycon.com. I'll update the link in the bio. We'll get Jenna on next week.
And in the meantime, if you're not in Raleigh for Saturday night. But you happen to be in North Carolina in general, you can stop by and see me at the Flatiron in Greensboro, North Carolina.
That's a good place.
Yeah, it's a great
spot.
place. And where I will be performing the first of what I hope will be a few shows there. And I haven't played in a long time. But, in addition to being a amateur wrestling pontificator, I am a semi-professional solo singer and songwriter. And so I'll be at the Flatiron leading off a bill of great North Carolina bands, The Eyebrows, Being Followed, and Them Pants. It all starts at 8 o'clock at the Flatiron Greensboro, and you can get tickets at theflatirongso.com.
What's that? What night is that?
Saturday night.
Same exact
So
time.
then, we counter programming.
We double booked ourselves. So
we'll have to not do that.
Solo Sokoa songwriter right here. Did I pronounce that correctly?
You sure did.
Okay,
you sure did.
Hey, awesome. Everybody, hit up Heath on social media at Heath Haynes DJ. I'm at Jonny Fairplay, no H in Johnny. Links to everything for me at JonnyFairplay.com.
And links for me in my bio at Instagram.
Okay, there you go. And click that subscribe button. We don't worry, we will get Jenna on here. More importantly, we got to get her to Galaxycon. First appearance since 2008. So this is a really big deal.
It's a big deal.
So but you guys got some SummerSlam previews and some pretty crazy stories about Mr. Perfect. So with that, until next time. Man, this was a good one. Hey, you guys want to join me for a show? I'm going to go see The Roots. So can you. Coming to Cary's Coca Booth Amphitheater, it's the legendary Roots crew. That's right, The Roots are coming to Cary, North Carolina, Friday, August 30th. And they're not alone. Special guest Macy Gray. This is benefiting the K-Yow Cancer Fund, so get your tickets now. That's right, go to etix.com. That's ETIX.com, or come to the venue box office. It's Coca Booth Amphitheater in Cary, North Carolina, Friday, August 30th. The Roots. See you there.